As we know, we had Graham's funeral recently, on the 6th of March of 2025 in the afternoon hours. This video is to pay my final respects to Graham post-funeral, that is, really in loving memory and remembering the wonderful late Graham the Baron Hesketh. Graham the Baron Hesketh, as you know, is ex-military. Despite having only served, 3 years in the military, I still have much respect for his contributed service when he served his time in the armed forces. You know, he and Fiona were together since 1999, but didn't officially marry until 2006, remaining married up until Graham's saddening death, as we know, all happened far too soon on the 4th of March 2025. Graham was a committed worker to Dolphin Safari in Gibraltar from 2010 to 2023, which was when he had the cancer. And then Graham had the operation in that November of 2023 for the cancer removal surgery, that was. He underwent it, and that was, we thought, as we so thought then, it was his cancer done and dusted. But then his cancer reappeared during the summer of 2024, but there was nothing the doctor could sadly do other than offer him chemotherapy, which he refused to take. And he seemingly seemed okay, not too tired at times, but seemingly okay. But then, February, hard times struck. Graham was in hospital on Valentine's Day 2025. He came out within a few days, but then within about a week or so later, he got readmitted to hospital. But this time he wasn't going to come out. And within a few short days before his death, he was knocked unconscious, but was fortunately comfortable. Then on the 4th of March 2025, Graham himself sadly departed our world at the age of 63 to cancer. Cancer is nobody's friend, as one would all know by now. His departure has affected all of us profoundly. For those who followed Graham since he began YouTubing back in 2021, sometime after the YouTube channel takedown of Yankee Wally, which she never once deserved in a lifetime, not in a lifetime did she deserve it, an innocent older lady in Wales, Yankee Wally, whose channel gets taken down so brutally. Awful, awful. What astonished me most was Fiona uploading a video so shortly after Graham's funeral. Really did it surprise not only myself, but all of everybody within the Hesketh community, which are namely Yankee Wally supporters. You know, because most people who came from Wally's channel, came to Graham and Fiona's content, are from predominantly Yankee Wally. As I think all of you already know this by now. But you know, yes, as we know, Graham encountered my content on that very Sunday evening of the 7th of May 2023, shortly after His Majesty the King Charles III's coronation. And you know, little did I realise I was going to hear from somebody like him. And then we conversed together, and then he saw my video again and commented. And the more he viewed my content, I mean, the more times I heard from him, the more deeply valuable it was. The number of times he was occasionally, whenever he felt the chance allowed, the number of times he took me under his wing from time to time, it really had a moving impact, deeply. And the way he supported my content when I least could have expected it. The way he and Fiona have supported my content when I least expected it is going to have a profoundly moving impact on me. And certainly my content when I least could have expected it. You know, it wasn't until months after I first heard from Graham that I went over to his and Fiona's content. And I've stayed with them ever since. And I stayed with Graham's content from September of 2023 right up until his death in 2025. But I'm staying firmly with Fiona's content. You know, I'm certainly staying there. And of course I'm staying firmly with Trevor, because what also happened so wonderfully when I encountered Graham's content, it opened the door to being introduced to Trevor Coult MC, who also kindly represented my content shortly after Fiona represented my content. And after she represented my content, I ended up having swathes of new subscribers and followers, much to my astonished surprise. That swathes just came over, flocked in. I mean, what? I mean, when I least could have expected it. And I thanked Fiona profusely for it, and certainly Graham for the number of times he's supported me, and whenever Fiona has supported me. I mean, they certainly don't have to. They really didn't have to, but I'm extremely thankful and grateful towards them for it all the same. And I'm also always going to be extremely grateful for the opportunities I had for appearing on some of Graham and Fiona's live streams before Graham sadly died. I'm always going to be grateful for those opportunities, and of course I'm always grateful for the few opportunities I've had appearing on Trevor's live streams. And what really touched me, really struck me most, was when Trevor said that his life feels a bit less full now following the death of Graham. And I was in tears. I was in tears when I saw that. I couldn't have felt more sorry for poor Trevor when he said that. And honestly, I don't think any YouTuber or supporter could have taken me under their wings more than Graham, the late Captain Graham, the Baron Hesketh himself. The way he sometimes took me under his wing is enormously valuable. And the way Fiona and Trevor, and then also through Trevor I encountered Hutch and Mel, and then through Hutch and Mel I later on encountered Annabelle and Gregopedia. And through Graham and Fiona I eventually became acquainted with Duchess Blair, whose content I've stayed with since the spring of 2024, and she said some nice things about me having an old English accent. That's a nice thing to say, you know. But as you know, I've been hit hard by Graham's death. All of us here are heartbroken, certainly me as well. But obviously those feeling worst, or those really hit the most, are the Hesketh family. Remarkably tough as Fiona and all the Hesketh family may well be, as Trevor Coult would very rightly point out, tough as one might be, or remarkably strong mentally or physically as one might be, we all emotionally have our breaking points. And I certainly couldn't agree with Trevor more. And I thank Trevor Coult for paying his final respects to Graham, both on the funeral live stream and when he did the video he uploaded representing it shortly after the live stream was over. For those of you who couldn't watch the funeral live stream, it shall be linked in this very video down below, and plus the wake live stream, which I sadly missed, but I watched the replay. And I couldn't have been more fortunate to have encountered a true, wonderful friend like that of the late Captain Graham the Baron Hesketh, who was a true friend to all, whoever he encountered throughout his time before he died. And true friends are hard to find. And true friends, especially true friends like Graham, are people one should never take for granted. You know, and things will get better, do be assured. It's just these few days have been really tough, particularly the funeral. It was tough. I can't begin to describe. I cried so many times during Graham's funeral. It was really that tough to see. You know, he was such a good friend to all, and losing him so soon, it's really had a huge impact. It's really had a heartbreakingly huge impact on us all, as to so describe and so to speak. May Graham's legacy never for a lifetime be forgotten. And he is now flying high with his gods, going with him on his next immortal adventure, as he is released from the pain of cancer. For all of you who have been through cancer, or have had family relatives who have gone through cancer, or have been through chemotherapy and had cancer recovery and steroids post-chemotherapy if recovered from cancer, my heart goes out to all of you. Or if you've lost anybody to cancer, my heart just hugely goes out to all of you who've lost relatives and close friends to cancer. Trevor did well to pay his respects to Graham. Benji, Graham's son, really did his father proud when he gave the speech at Graham's funeral. And one thing I'd do is, goodbye, Sir Captain Graham the Baron Hesketh. Thank you for being a good friend. Good night, and may your gods go with you whilst you're flying high on your next immortal adventure. We lost a good friend just too soon, didn't we? We lost a good friend too soon. And once again, to say this point very straightforwardly, true friends are hard to find, and true friends are people we should never take for granted. Thank you all for watching, and my heartfelt condolences to Fiona, Lady Faith, Adventurous Benji, and Mick and all of the Hesketh family. Thank you for watching.